Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. So we are reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7. Krishna is explaining here 4 types of Shukritina. Out of them, Genies are better. Now, why people become Dushkritina? There is so nice opportunity to become devotee. But why people don't worship directly to Lord? Why they worship demigod? Answer is Kamushtisthirito Jnana Prapadanto Unnati. Tang tang niyamam astha prakitta niyatasya. Kamushtisthirito Jnana. Rito Jnana means deprived of knowledge. Why? By to kamui, desires. To it various. Rito Jnana. Due to divine type of desires, they are deprived of knowledge. That is why prapadante unna devata. That is a surrender unto other demigods. From where they got this encouragement? Tam corresponding niyamam, regulations, asthayo, following, prakritya, by nature, niyata, control, swaya, by their own. Those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own nature. Niyata prakritta niyatosya. I'm reading again. Those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires, surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own nature. Purport. Those whose intelligence has been stolen by material. Purport. Those who are freed from all material contaminations surrenders unto the Supreme Lord and engage in his devotional service. As long as the material contamination is not completely washed off, they are by nature non-devotees. But even those who have material desires and who restore to the Supreme Lord are not so much attacked by external nature. Because of approaching the right goal, they soon become free from all material lust. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is recommended that whether one is a pure devotee and is free from all material desires, or is full of material desires, or desires liberation from material contamination, he should in all cases surrender to Vasudeva and worship, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, 3rd chapter. After explaining so many demigod worship, then what are the benefit of worshipping different demigods? I have to explain that. Shakti Goswami is explaining. Akamo sarva kamava moksha kamo udarati tibrana bhakti yogana jasata purusham param. Less intelligent people who have lost their spiritual sense take shelter of demigods for immediate fulfillment of material desires. Generally, such people do not go to the Supreme Personality of Godhead because they are in the lower modes of nature. Therefore, worship various demigods. This translation, Akama Sharukamu, actually Prabhupada is given before. Akama Sharukamu, this translation is here already given. The rest Prabhupada is given purport here, after the verse. Following the rules and regulations of worship, they are satisfied. The worshippers of demigods are motivated by small desires and do not know how to reach the supreme goal. But a devotee of the Supreme Lord is not misguided, because in Vedic literature there are recommendations for worshipping different gods for different purposes. Like a diseased man is recommended to worship the sun. Those who are not devotees of the Lord think that for certain purposes demigods are better than the Supreme Lord. But a pure devotee knows that Supreme Lord Krishna is the master of all. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said, Ekale Ishvara Krishna are Shabdet. Only the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is master, and all others are servants. Therefore, a pure devotee never goes to demigods for satisfaction of his material needs. He depends on the Supreme Lord, and the pure devotee is satisfied with whatever he gives. So, from where they get this type of inspiration to worship demigod? Here I'm saying, Jong Jong, Jo Jo, Jong Jong, Tonu Bhakta, Shraddha Orchit Michut, Tasya Tasya, Achalam Shraddham, Tamevo Vitadhad Aham. Jo Jo, Ya Ya, whoever, Yam Yam, whoever, Tunum, form of a demigod, Bhakto, devotee. Shraddhaya, with faith, Orchitum Ichhati, desires to worship, Orchitum Ichhati, Tasya Tasya, to him, Asalam Shraddha, steady faith, Asalam Shraddha, steady faith. Tam, that ever surely, Vedadamyoham, I give. You should say, if you want to worship demigod, that faith also I give, okay? Worship the demigod. I am in everyone's heart as the super soul. As soon as one desires to worship some demigod, I make his faith steady so that he can devote himself to that particular purpose. God has given independence to everyone. Therefore, if a person desires to have material enjoyment and wants very sincerely to have such facilities from the material demigods, the Supreme Lord as Super Soul in everyone's heart understands and gives facilities to such persons. As the Supreme Father of all living entities, he does not interfere with their independence, but gives all facilities so that they can fulfill their material desires. Some may ask why the all-powerful God gives facilities to the living entities for enjoying this material world, and so lets them fall into the trap of the illicit art. The answer is that if the Supreme Lord as Super Soul does not give such facilities, then there is no meaning in independence. Therefore, he gives everyone full independence, whatever one likes. But his ultimate instruction we find in the Bhagavad Gita. One should give up all other engagements and fully surrender unto him. That will make man happy. Both the living entity and the demigods are subordinate to the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the living entity cannot worship the demigod by his own desire, nor can the demigod bestow any benediction without the Supreme. As it is said, not a blade of grass moves without the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Generally, persons who are distressed in material world go to the demigods, as they are advised in the Vedic literature. A person wanting some particular thing may worship such and such a demigod. For example, a diseased person is recommended to worship the sun god. A person wanting education may worship the goddesses of learning, Saraswati. And a person wanting a beautiful wife may worship the goddess Uma, the wife of Lord Shiva. In this way, there are recommendations in the Shastras for different modes of worship of different demigods. And because a particular living entity wants to enjoy a particular material facility, the Lord inspires him with a strong desire to achieve that benediction from that particular demigod, and so he successfully receives the benediction. The particular mode of devotional attitude of the living entity toward a particular type of demigod is also arranged by the Supreme Lord. The demigods cannot infuse the living entities with such an affinity, but because he is the Supreme Lord or the Super Soul who is present in the hearts of all living entities. Krishna gives impetus to man to worship certain demigods. Demigods are actually different parts of the universal body of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, they have no independence. In the Vedic literature, it is stated, Supreme Personality of Godhead as Super Soul is also present within the heart of the demigod. Therefore, he arranges through the demigod to fulfill the desire of the living entity. But both the demigod and the living entity are dependent on the Supreme Will. They are not independent. Here in this section of Bhagavad Gita, how nicely Krishna is explaining demigod worshipping is not necessary. Also, Krishna is saying, some people may say, oh, demigods are giving something. Why should I worship? Krishna is saying, actually, whatever demigods are giving, there is also, they are giving from me actually. I sanction it. The demigods, whatever are giving, Krishna said, I have given that power. Yes, you can give. And how to worship the demigods? That desire also I give. So then question may say, then why it is we should not worship them? Krishna said, what is demigod giving? Verify me. And the with the serving out of devotion, that is given by me. And why should not worship? Krishna is saying actually that is not vidhi purvakam. That is actually avidhi purvakam. Next verse is saying, Shataya Shraddha Juktas Tasya Aradhana Mihati Lavante Cha Tato Kaman Maiva Vihitani. Sha he Tasya Vidya Shraddha inspiration Jukta endowed Tasya of the demigod Aradhanam for the worship Ihate Iha means desire. Ihate means he aspires. Lavate obtains cha that tata from that kama his desires. Moreover, Maya by me evo alone, Bhit arranged he certainly found those. Endowed with such a faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtains his desires, but it actually these benefits are bestowed by me alone. So, previous verse was, from where they get inspiration to demigod worship? Krishna said, I give. This verse, from where the demigods are giving, that is also, they are giving as I empowered them. Actually, these benefits are bestowed by me alone. I have given the power of, okay, if somebody worship in such a way, give this. That means I am also giving, that is indirectly. So if you want directly from me, worship me directly. Endowed with such a faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtains his desires. But in actuality, these benefits are bestowed by me alone. Krishna, Prabhupada giving alone. By me, Prabhupada is sufficient by happy by saying, given by, bestowed by me, is not sufficient. He said, me alone. The demigods cannot award benedictions to their devotees without the permission of the Supreme Lord. The living entity may forget that everything is the property of the Supreme Lord, but the demigods do not forget. So the worship of demigods and achievement of desire results are due not to the demigods, but to the Supreme Personality of Godhead by arrangement. The less intelligent living entity does not know this, and therefore he foolishly goes to the demigods for some benefit. But the pure devotee, when in need of something, prays only to the Supreme Lord, asking for material benefit. However, is not a sign of a pure devotee. A living entity goes to the demigods, usually because he is mad to fulfill his lust. This happens when something undue is desired by the living entity and the Lord himself does not fulfill the desire. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that one who worships Supreme Lord and at the same time desires material enjoyment is contradictory in his desires. প্রভু বলে আমায় ভজে বিষয় মাগে বিষয় সুখ, অমৃত ছাড়ি বিষ মাগে এই বারম্বার। Krishna is saying, Ama bhaje mage বিষয় সুখ. He is worship me and at the same time asking material. He is asking poison instead of nectar. Amrita sari bish mage. Devotional service to the Supreme Lord and worship of a demigod cannot be on the same platform, because worship of a demigod is material and devotional service to the Supreme Lord is completely spiritual. For the living entity who desires to return to Godhead, material desires are impediments. A pure devotee of the Lord is therefore not awarded the material benefits desired by less intelligent living entities, who therefore prefer to worship demigods of the material world rather than engage in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord. Now the question may come, okay, Krishna is saying, what are demigods giving? They are giving, taking from me. So what is the problem? That means your thing. Krishna, you are saying, what are demigods giving? They are giving from me. What I recommend? So what is the problem? No, problem is that they cannot give any permanent thing. They give only temporary thing. Antavattu phalantisha. But whatever demigods are giving, they're temporary. And intelligent people will not go for the temporary thing. Antavattu phalantisham tadbhavati kalpamadesha. Devan devo jajo janti mad bhakta janti mama. Antavat, perishable. Two, but phalam, fruit, desham, there. Tat, that bhavati becomes. Alpamedosham, of those of a small intelligence. Devan to the demigods. Devo jajo, the worshippers of the demigods. Janti, go. Mad bhakta, my devotees. Janti, go. Mamapi, to me also. Translation. Man of a small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of demigods. But my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. Purport. Some commentators on the Bhagavad Gita say that one who worships a demigod can reach to the Supreme Lord. But here it is clearly stated that the worshippers of demigods go to the different planetary systems where various demigods are situated. Just as the worshipper of the sun assists the sun, or a demigod, just as a worshipper of the sun assists the sun, or a worshipper of the demigod of the moon assists the moon. Similarly, if anyone wants to worship a demigod like Indra, he can attain that particular god's planet. It is not that everyone, regardless of whatever demigod is worshipped, will reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Jatama tatapa. It's not like that. If you buy ticket for Mumbai, if you reach Delhi, it is not possible. That is denied here. For it is clearly stated that the worshippers of demigods go to different planets in the material world, but the devotees of the Supreme Lord goes directly to the supreme planet of the personality of Godhead. Here, the point may be raised that if the demigods are different parts of the body of the Supreme Lord, then the same end should be achieved by the worshipping them. Very nice question, sometimes asked by people. If demigods are different parts of the Lord, so that means worshipping demigods, also worshipping the Supreme Personal Godhead? Yes, but not true also. Pouring water to the root of the tree and pouring water the branches and twigs are not the same. However, worshippers of the demigods are less intelligent because they do not know what part of the body food must be supplied, mouth or nose or ear. They don't know. They don't know where to pour water, twigs, leaves, or root. That is why Tat Bhavati Alpamedasham. That is why Alpamedasham. They are less intelligent. Some of them are so foolish that they claim that there are many parts and many ways to supply food. They are grossly foolish. This is not very sanguine. Can anyone supply food to the body through the ears or eyes? No. They do not know that these demigods are different parts of the universal body of the Supreme Lord. And in their ignorance, they believe that each and every demigod is a separate God and a competitor of the Supreme Lord. And again, go back to this. If someone claims that demigods are different parts of the body of the Supreme Lord, then the same should be achieved by the worshipper. What is the mission? If you believe that the demigods are the different parts of the Supreme Lord, then if you give Supreme Lord, all the demigods will be happy. Why is not thinking such way? Why sing opposite way? Like another Manav Shava, Madhav Shava. No, Madhav Shiva, Manav Shiva. Not only are demigods parts of the Supreme Lord, but ordinary living entities are also. That is why some rascal think Daridra Narayan Shiva. As living entities as a part of the Lord, that is why feeding the poor man also Narayan Shiva. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that the Brahmanas are the head of the Supreme Lord. The Kshatriyas are his arms, the Vaishyas are his waist, Shudras are his legs. All serve different functions. Regardless of the situation, if one knows that both the demigods and he himself are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, his knowledge is perfect. But if he does not understand this, he achieves different planets where the demigods reside. This is not the same destination the devotee reaches. The results achieved by the demigods, benediction, are perishable because within the material world, the planets, the demigods, and the worshipper are all perishable. What perishable? What is the Sanskrit word? Perishable? Antavad, who has its end. Antavad, the result achieved by demigods are perishable. Why? Because they give things from the material world. That is why they give things from the material world. The material is perishable, and demigod also perishable. So demigod perishable, the material world perishable. So their benediction also perishable. And their worshippers are perishable. Therefore, this clearly stated in this verse that all results achieved by the worshipping demigods are perishable and therefore perishable, antava, perishable, and therefore such worship is performed by the less intelligent living. Tat bhavati alpamedosham. Someone is F for perishable thing is less intelligent. Because the pure devotee engaged in Krishna consciousness in devotional service of the Supreme Lord achieves eternal blissful existence that is full of knowledge. His achievements and those of the common worshipper of the demigods are different. The Supreme Lord is unlimited. His favor is unlimited. His mercy is unlimited. Therefore, the mercy of the Supreme Lord upon his pure devotee is unlimited. So, demigods' benediction are limited. Demigods' favor is limited. Demigods' mercy is limited, perishable. On the other hand, the Supreme Lord is unlimited, his favor is unlimited, his mercy is unlimited. Therefore, the mercy of the Lord upon his pure devotee is unlimited. Next verse, Krishna will say, not only demigod worship, the worship of the impersonal Brahma, they are also foolish. So here, Bhagavad is so clear understanding. Worshipper of demigod, worship impersonal Brahma. So today, read what is the view of demigod worship. Tomorrow, read what is the thought of worship of the impersonal Brahma. Why they are less intelligent. Hare Krishna. Okay. Nam Roshita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dhanvat Pranam to you. Maharaj, Krishna says that, like we have been reading that even if you have desires, you ask only Krishna. Because slowly and gradually, the person who approaches Krishna for desires, he gets purified, and then his desires also slowly and gradually fades away. So, but Maharaj, I see there are a lot of people who has been worshipping Krishna, maybe right from the beginning, from young age. In their family, the tradition is to worship Krishna. But I don't see their desires diminishing or their desires getting less. So, is it so that if they don't achieve this in this life, maybe in next life, uh, this
Maybe
happens?
thousands of lifetimes. It
Mm,
is depend on the intensity of worship.
mm,
They're worshipping for what? They're worshipping for their pleasure. Yes, they will get benefit. But this is worship for the pleasure of the Lord. That is the ultimate.
mm,
So that is not bad. Worshiping for that is not bad. At least they
mm,
are going to Krishna. Krishna will be happy. At least they are coming to me.
mm. Yes, Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Gulshan.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you very much, Maharaj, for this class. Maharaj, my question is that here Lord Sri Krishna said that if we worship demigods, he gave us such strong faith, so we worship them uh, for any desire. So it is arranged by Lord Krishna. But somewhere I read that we worship demigod earlier, like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, or Devi Durga. So they are all make arrangement for us, so we come in Krishna consciousness. So
Question is that by worshipping demigod, can you become Krishna conscious? Is the question?
Maharaj, like we earlier worship demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma. So they make us arrangement for should become in Krishna consciousness.
Yes. Yes, so many instances there. The like Sanatana Goswami's story. One was Shiva worshipper. The Shiva sent him, we go to Sanatana Goswami. He sent him there. So we are in Krishna consciousness. Maybe before coming Krishna consciousness, we are demigod worshipper. Yes, as our service was pure, that is demigods referred to Krishna. This is by the mercy. Okay. Amita, you will
Hare Krishna Maharaj, beloved saints. Maharaj, I also had the same question which Gulsan Prabhu asked. Only one thing I wanted to ask that does Krishna also speak something like this? That if somebody worships the demigods without any material desires, then he will come to me. Does Krishna speaks like that, or somewhere it is told like that? Because it happens, so we have seen.
Krishna is not telling that if because why they are worshiping demigod? Without desire,
Just
how
because
they can worship? Without desire, how they can worship demigod? Tell me. You are worshipping Lakshmi Devi. That means you are worshiping for wealth. You are Saraswati Devi for education. When worshipping demigod, naturally for so that is why clearly listed there is no question of bhakti with demigod. Bhakti word only applicable to the God. For the demigod is a puja, worship. But bhakti, devotion only applicable to Krishna. That is nicely explained in 47th verse or 6th chapter. Who was nicely explained. So pure devotion to demigods is not possible.
As for Lord Shiva, we see some people do it for Lord Shiva.
Why is that way?
They just say we like it.
You like it, but you will something that is you like. They worship Shiva. Why you like it? She will be give this. And with that attitude, Krishna also worship people. But with the attitude people worship demigod, with that worship people Krishna also. But that is not pure devotion. When somebody worships Krishna, only to love him, not in return anything. That is love. That is bhakti. Maybe the demigod worshipper Shiva Bhakta, may not be so intelligent, they are doing some sentimentally something. But that is not with devotion. Because devotion is only applicable for the Lord, Vishnu Tattvas.
Yes, that is sentimental because they don't know. But Krishna worshippers, they know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality.
Yeah.
Okay.
If
Thank you.
someone worship the Supreme God Krishna without knowing, there is no harm. They will get the result because he has that ability to give. Okay,
Yes.
thank you very much. Bhagavad Gita as it is.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam.